Hey, 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 Mr. Dan, how are you, my friend?
Hey mate, good thanks, good thanks. How are you?
That's the way, don't you? Love that intro. How good is it? Good
It's pretty
old,
good, eh?
good old cheap jokes. Yeah,
Good old Andrew.
I get sick of that.
Andrew and his intro.
We, as you can see, everyone, we've lost a bit of weight tonight. Billsy's on an RDO, so he won't be joining us tonight. He inconveniently decided to have a new family member today, so
Right? What's up with that?
yeah, I know they could have
Jeez.
had it on a non-stream day, but
Ah, 6 other days of the week, eh? But no. Well, let's just do it on Monday, stream day.
I know.
Where's the
Actually,
commitment?
you know the funny thing too? It's also one of his brother's birthdays today, so his new
Oh,
baby shares a birthday with its
double.
uncle. Yeah,
Double bloomin' that
I know.
shout. Wow, man.
But that's all right. We'll fill in while he's enjoying his day off.
Well,
And
come on, at the end of the day, he couldn't have asked for anyone better to fill it in than us, right?
that's right. That's right.
Two
So
best looking dudes on the stream.
I won't give any information away or anything like that. I'm going to let him do that. But they had a healthy new baby join the family today, so they're celebrating some family time. And Billsy will be back with us again probably on Wednesday when we have the all the Lego Masters from the Christmas special joining us as well. So looking forward to catching up with these guys. April should be with us tonight at some point. We'll see how we go. But if not, in the meantime, Dan and I are here.
No, if she's not here now, she's probably passed out, to be honest with you.
Probably. Well, in her defense, it is like stupid o'clock in the morning where
3 a.m. I think.
Yeah, so she does well to try and get up or stay up just to put up with us ugly mugs. So,
yeah, well, got to give her credit for that. It is 3 a.m. So you can forgive her if she falls asleep, given that she is a mum of 2 young kids as well.
That's it. That's an effort in itself. So, but hello to everyone in the chat. Grant, Andy, Karen, Rick. Hey.
Rick's got it sorted though. We are the favourite hosts, and it is better without Billsy. Let's face it. Come on, we're far more entertaining than that character.
Yeah. Once I figure out how to do some changing on this layout, then we'll change it from the Billsy show to the Billser and Dan show, and
right,
watch the ratings go up. Hey,
absolutely.
Yeah, wake up, April. Yeah, we've sent her a message, and we're waiting. So we'll see what happens. But that's okay. We did have a topic tonight too. We were asked. I think, is it a rhetorical question, or is it? I don't know if it has an answer, but those in the chat, let us know your thoughts. If you were to sell your Lego and move on to a different hobby, or start selling your Lego to what or how would you start? Where would you begin? There's obviously a lot of options there. There's the second-hand market. There's Bricklink stores. There's giving it away to charities. How would you? What would your thoughts be? Where would you start?
Yeah, I don't think there's a right and wrong answer to this, because it's all going to be very personal and individual to people's collections and how much they have and what they've got and whatnot. But if let's say I decided tomorrow that I'd had enough of Lego and I was going to sell my entire collection, I think for the best bang for buck, you want to put as many sets back together as possible. Yep. And sell them as complete sets. I know of people that have bought bulk lots of, they were at one point large set collections, and they'd ended up being broken down and just sold as bulk parts, and they didn't get anywhere near as much money as they could have got if they were put back into sets. But then you got to weigh up the time versus the cost of what you're going to get back from those sets. So it's a tough one. Personally, I think I would go to the local like Facebook buy sell trade groups and list it there first, because obviously Facebook and Facebook Marketplace and groups don't have any fees attached to them. With our local auction website, Trade Me, is, that's got fees attached that are getting pretty high up there. I think. What do you guys use, Gumtree or eBay?
Gumtree has no fees. Like, it's kind of like Craigslist and stuff. There's no fees attached, and not a lot of rules. I don't think with Gumtree, unless you're trying to sell like puppies and stuff, then there's rules. But for in general, I don't think there is. But eBay, obviously, there is a percentage that you pay back, and stuff.
Yeah, I think if you can broker a deal with somebody to take the whole lot at a price that you're happy with, then that's always the easy way out. But I almost guarantee that with a little bit more work and selling individual sets or even individual themes, you're probably going to make more money.
Yeah.
But it's...
Is it about making money though, or is it about recouping your costs? Like, if you've got a historical set that Bricklink now says, it's gone up 400% in the last 10 years, then you sell it for market value, I guess. You don't list it at an unrealistic BS price. But at the end of the day, I think, depending on the size of your collection, it's more about recouping costs than profiteering.
Oh, absolutely. But in saying that, you've laid a huge investment into your collection, and you don't want to fall short on its value either. This is a conversation that we have quite regularly around large collections within the club. What happens if a club member passes away and their significant other or extended family who aren't perhaps Lego savvy just rocks on in there and lists it all for $5,000 on Trade Me or whatever, come and clean out this Lego room. And we've seen this happen over here. And there could be $50,000 or $100,000 worth of Lego in there. So it's a tough one. I brokered a deal for a deceased estate. A guy, he lived in the Wairarapa, which is, about a 40-minute drive from where I live. And his sisters wanted to sell his Lego collection, and he wasn't known to the Lego community. He was a guy that had quite severe Asperger's. He was quite insular into himself, but he built a lot of mocks and he had a big collection. And I ended up brokering a 5-figure deal for that one. That was a reasonable collection, and it went to one person who bought the whole lot. But yeah, and I talked to them as well about this very topic, actually, about, they would maximize their return if they were to put it all back into set lots. But they were not Lego savvy people, and they did not have the time or the inclination to put all that stuff back into set lots. And suffice to say, there were some good 15-year-old Lego sets there, like most of the modular collection, the original UCS Falcon, a bunch of other UCS stuff. So, that was a big collection worth big money, and they were happy with what they got for it, and the buyer was happy with what he got for it too. So, that was the most important thing.
I think it'd be hard too. No, I think it'd be hard if you were if it was an estate sale. If your other half was the Lego person, it'd be quite an emotional thing to try and put that back into sets, or because that was their thing, that was your link to them or whatever. So it could be really hard to either A, part with it, or B, sort it back into the value that it's worth. And I guess there's that age-old thing too, whereas, your biggest fear is when you die, your partner sells it for what you told them you paid for it, because it'd be far less than what it's worth.
My wife knows what it's worth. See, Rick brings up a really good point. It's like the comment there, we help people who lose loved ones all the time. There are a few sharks out there who take advantage of people. And that, unfortunately, that's not just Lego, in the Lego hobby community. That's in every hobby community where there's, seems to be an awesome deal on the table when somebody passes away or moves on. And, Yeah, I think, I believe that there would be people here that would go in and lowball a massive collection as well. So,
of course. Look, everyone wants a legitimate, score of the day or deal of the century. Everyone wants to find that legit deal. And if you can't, then some people will really do the wrong thing to try and get that legit deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's got to be. There's more value in it when it's legit. Like when I think one of the biggest one I remember for me personally was picking up the Nesquik bunny for $1.50 at a flea market. The person had a whole bunch of minifigures, and to be honest, I bought about 10, and I bought the Nesquik bunny actually thinking that it was a knockoff or not put together correctly, and it was spot on and in perfect condition. And I got it for $1.50, so I was happy. And then another couple of massive 40-liter tubs for not very much money. I think it was like $200 or something. And she said, "Oh yeah, there's an opera house in there." And I was expecting it to be the tiny little architecture set, but no, it was the big, massive one. So you do find legit bargains like that of people that just want to move on or don't understand the value of it, or to them it's just a toy their kid's grown out of and they want the space in the garage back.
Yeah.
So those legit deals are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam in the Facebook chat he's got a good one there. Sell sets wouldn't be too big of an issue. Selling mocks would be the most difficult thing. And you're right. I've sold one mock, and it was actually my Tui brewery building. And at the time I was needing some money for a good quality video camera for making content. And the guy who owns Toyco in Auckland ended up buying it from me. And to be fair, he probably paid slightly less than what the parts were worth alone. And we're still talking like, I sold that for $1,800. The parts were probably worth $2,000, but I didn't pay that for all of the parts. If he was to get them off Bricklink, that's what it would have cost him, I think. But that doesn't account for any time either. And I built that mock 3 or 4 times for various reasons. And there's no way, unless you are doing commissions and you agree on a price for something in the first place, there's no way you get, in my opinion, you don't really get money back on mocks either. You might recoup the costs of the bricks, but unless you get lucky and get someone who's willing to pay for your time, then that's all good. But that's not really a common thing in New Zealand.
Yeah, mocks are a hard one, especially if you've bought multiple sets for 1 or 2 elements that go into your mock, and then you're trying to recoup that costs. For example, like for example, the Wild West display that Bilty and I are working on with a few others, if that is a mock that I've actually collected parts specifically for, rather than build from my own collection. So I don't know how you'd price that. And if I did break it down, how you would sell it off, because those parts don't have a set they belong to, or they don't have a home. And it's like that, for example. If I was to go, okay, I don't want to mock anymore, what do you do with all that? I could make a lot of sets back up and sell them off. But then where do you get that 500 hours that it's going to take to do that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. What's the value? But what's the value here? Is it in your time, or is it in making the sets back up? Because to make a set back up to get your $500 back for the 5 hours or 50 hours, let's say 5 or 6 hours that it might take to pick those parts, you got to be looking at sets that do hold value, a lot of value, or have increased in value, and that people really, really want. But it's a tough one. Over here, bulk lot that's unsorted, even if it's got instructions but not sorted, you're looking at around, on average, $30 to $40 a kilo for the bricks.
Yeah, wow.
It's about what people will pay. But then in saying that, we've got a lot of secondhand sellers now that are buying stuff up on, even on Trade Me, and are just pushing it to exorbitant prices. And then they're taking the pieces, breaking them down and selling them by, part lot, so to speak. So they, or minifig lot or whatever. So it's really become, in the last 6-7 years, the reseller market here in New Zealand has exploded in response to the explosion of the AFOL community, I guess.
Yeah. And that'll change too when you guys get your own Lego Masters as well, because the price of Lego seems to go through the roof when Lego Masters is on TV. Everyone thinks it's worth a lot more than it is. Maybe as Aussies we should go over there and sell our Lego, because the price here is around $20 a kilo without figs, and around, you can push 25 if there's figs in there as well.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a little bit less. Probably about the same as Jake said. It's about 10 to 20 pound a kilo.
Yeah, but that 10 to 20 pound would work out to being around 35 New Zealand dollars. Wouldn't be much less in Aussie dollars.
Yeah, close to $30. Yeah.
And there was a comment back there as well. And good morning, Jake. There was a comment back there. Buying secondhand bricks in the UK is really, really hit and miss. That's becoming more and more and more so here in New Zealand as well. There's, some of our big box retailers are selling clone bricks, by the gazillion. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people, if it looks like a Lego brick, then it's a Lego brick. And they will sell it as a Lego brick, whether it is or whether it isn't. And this problem is only going to compound now because of the Countdown Bricks promotion. That stuff's flying off the shelves at Countdown like you wouldn't believe. And that stuff is, honestly, it is just going to saturate the secondhand market. You are not going to be able to buy a secondhand lot of Lego that's not contaminated with clone bricks.
And that's the same with us over here and the Woolworths bricks that we had this year.
Yeah, it's the same thing, same company. It's just over here, it's branded as Countdown. It's owned by Progressive, same logo and everything.
Yeah, I guess
I've got about 60 or 80 of the blind bags sitting in a shopping bag just outside the door.
Really?
I can't even bring them into the Lego room.
I guess we're just lucky that it's like a very different colour for the most part, so it can stand out, like the Bunnings bricks as well. But still,
but they still end up in people's collections. They still get called Lego, and
of course,
you can guarantee you buy bulk lots now, you're pulling out clone bricks. And the worst thing is a lot of the smaller parts are really difficult to tell whether they're Lego or not. Not every, some parts don't have Lego logos on them. And, I think now I've even seen people in the Facebook groups that are asking whether Bricklink stores are selling genuine Lego or not, because I think even Bricklink stores are getting caught out with some of the very small pieces.
Because they can get
don't know whether they're genuine Lego or not. So
yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things. A real fan cannot always tell the difference, Toast. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, man, but there's sometimes I've been picking through my my bulk collection, or just my parts collection back here, and I've looked at a part, and you're right, a real fan can tell the difference. But sometimes when you're sorting a bulk lot, stuff just gets pushed aside, and then when I'm using it, I'm like, hang on a minute. That's not Lego. Ugh, get that out of here. And I flick it off to the side. I've been caught out a couple of times.
And so have I. Actually, I like to think that I've got a pretty keen eye, and then occasionally I'll pull a bit out from behind me, and you'll be like, well, hang on, how did that get past me the first time?
Yeah, how did that? Yeah.
And the clone brands, the knockoff brands are getting much better. So years ago, you could tell the quality difference just by the feel and the look. But the clone brand quality is getting better.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close in some cases.
For sure. Just a quick shout out to Tom Starks there requesting Katy Perry Teenage Dream. What's a stream without a request from Tom there?
Right. But hey,
Steve,
I've given up. I've pretty much given up buying bulk lots now for that reason.
Yeah, I haven't bought any in a long time, actually.
Yeah, so Yeah,
Actually,
to get
the
back to
last
the
I
whole.
bought was the last bulk lot I bought was a big Galador lot that I really, really wanted, and then I got it home and thought, the hell did I buy that for?
Yeah.
And I ended up relisting it straight away and selling it to someone on the other side of the country. So,
Yeah. Definitely, Jake. Happens to everybody, mate. Happens to everybody. But yeah, it essentially has just put me off buying bulk lots because there's just too much junk in them.
yeah,
People swear that it's Lego. They have Lego instructions. So you go and buy it, and then you get it home, and there's a third of it is something else, and it's like, I just can't be asked with it anymore.
not just that, but the amount of hair and fingernails and chewed
Oh,
lollies and all that sort of stuff
that's disgusting.
you pull out. Actually, the worst one I saw was on one of the Facebook groups the other day. Someone took a photo of a tooth and said, "This is legit the grossest."
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I'm like,
That
wow.
was disgusting.
Like, hair and fingernails are one thing, but a tooth, like, no.
Yeah, I've had hair. I don't know if I've had fingernails. I've had chewing gum.
Yeah,
Batteries is always common. Probably the grossest thing I've found in a bulk lot was a used Band-Aid.
yes.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. But yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
you've had a tooth before. That's disgusting. The last bulk lot that I bought is still sitting in a container on the shelves just in front over there. I do open it up every now and then and have a look in it for stuff.
Karen,
but
gross.
it's
used earbuds. Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. But yeah, I don't know. It's just yeah. I'd rather just buy.
So what if you
buy
went,
new Lego?
If you had all the loose Lego, why wouldn't you go the Bricklink store option? Is it not worth it for I guess that'd be at least a year or two process, or potentially an ongoing venture.
Yeah, imagine that, Andy. Imagine that. That's disgusting. I've thought about this as well, and from what I understand, talking to Bricklink stores that I know of, loading brand new set parts is easy because you just punch in the set number, load to store, and it will load that entire inventory to your store.
Yep.
If you're to load bulk lots or individual pieces, you've literally got to search for that piece and enter it all in manually. Enter in your price. Enter in all that info for every single piece and part and count and all that sort of crap. And again, I think people just there are people that do it. People that have got, time. But the other thing too is grading the Lego. You can grade it and then someone else might disagree with your grading. And, you might put it as, good condition used. And your idea of good condition used might be different to someone else's good condition used. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
you've always got to take that risk as well. Oh, wow. Look who finally woke up.
Sorry.
Jeez.
My alarm was still set for 4 a.m. Sorry.
Wow. That's slack.
That's all right.
You're as slack as Billsy for not turning up just because his wife had a baby. God.
I know, right?
Where's the commitment? Where's the commitment? Thanks for joining us, April.
Yeah, how are you, April?
Doing okay. Thanks.
We're just talking selling Lego, where to start, how to do it, what do you sell? Like if you were downsizing or if you were changing hobbies completely, what would you do? Where would you start?
Oof. I would imagine that for you guys especially, it'd be a lot harder because you have so much just loose parts, just bulk parts more than anything. I have more sets, so I feel like it'd probably be easier to flip those than just like, hey, I've got all these parts and parts drawers and whatever. Like, it'd be a job, that's for sure. But
yeah, I think sets are an easy one to sell, especially if it's an older set that maybe hasn't gone up in value so much, but is really, really wanted. So that it'll sell straight away.
Right.
Or maybe an old GWP that someone missed out on years ago that they're like, oh yeah, I'll buy that, $50, $100, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that set means something to them, the dollar doesn't so much. So yeah, I guess sets are the easy way. It's the loose stuff that's harder. Do you sell it in bulk? Do you do you do bulk slots on Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that? Do you sell it like we have a resale company here in Brisbane that they sell Australia wide, and they pay pretty good money for quick cash, getting rid of excess bricks. Could you sell it more privately? Well, yeah, you could, but then you've got the time and the hassle and that sort of stuff. Or do you, the company that buys it here, they send a courier, they pick it up, they pay for that cost. So
do you have cash converters over there?
Yeah, you have cash converters and other similar brands of pawn stores as well that'll buy it and
that's a different. I think that's a completely different hobby altogether. The pawn stores.
PAWN.
I guess it's still kind of plastic.
Come on, even
pawn, not porn. Pawn.
Oh God,
porn. Is this apples? Apples.
Dan, you can't do this after all the times I give you crap about things.
Second-hand store.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, it was the joke. We're just playing up to it. Billsy's not here. We're allowed to wreck his stream, remember?
Oh.
Just like you guys do when I'm not on BTV TV.
Wow. I don't know if Cashies would buy loose Lego, actually, or whether they'd only buy sealed sets.
We have the same here. There's a couple of well-known brick resellers, mostly auction or trade me based brick sellers that, like I said, they're the ones that'll up the prices on on the trade me auction so that they can get hold of them, because that's their job. They've literally turned it into their job to buy secondhand Lego and then flip it for whatever they can get for it. And these are the ones that will usually just take specific parts and then sell them as a group of parts or whatever. So, and what, what makes me laugh? It just makes me laugh. There are so many people that buy these little lots of Lego for like $7-8 for like 10 maybe pieces if they're lucky. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing that? You could get those same pieces off Bricklink for probably $2 or $3. But it's the convenience, it's like they've seen it there, they're just going to buy it. It's easy, that it can't be asked, trying to filter through Bricklink and the rest of it. And I'm just like, I look at that stuff. I look at them sometimes and I think, shit, if I did that with my collection, if I sold like 5 tree leaves for $10, what am I doing with my life?
But
I got a whole box of them back there.
But is that like true AFOLs that are buying these, or is it just like a mom that's like, oh, little Billy can make a tree with these 5 tree leaf pieces for $10 or whatever,
It's a mixture. It's a both, because like you see these often in our main, the main group that I'm in is buy sell trade.
Those
Info's buy sell trade. No, I'm talking about like the bigger leaf elements. Yeah, those ones. Those ones. Exactly, mate. You need to be listing them for five leaves at a time for $10.
Maybe I do.
It's just crazy. It's just absolute crazy how people will just snap them up, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I must be sitting on $1 million.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm sitting here thinking 5 tree leaves.
If I could be asked doing it, though, that's the thing. If I could be asked doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Karen's right. But the thing is, Karen, it's a mixture. I've seen well-known AFOLs that have show experience and mock experience buying stuff off MFOL BST like that.
Is it stuff that's local, like easier to get than Bricklink? I mean, especially for you guys.
That's the thing. It probably is.
Well,
that's what I mean. It's like the difference between going to McDonald's and getting a burger as opposed to making a burger at home.
Yeah, well,
that's what I liken it to. If I'm being honest,
it could also depend on, like, you're happy to pay a higher price to get it quicker than waiting for it to come from a Bricklink store in Germany or something. When you've got a
same concept.
Yeah,
same concept. Going to McDonald's, can't be asked making their own.
Yeah. Yeah, you pay for the convenience, I guess. But yeah, I guess there is a lot of inexperience out there as to know how much it does sell for a kilo. What is a good price? Like some of the things you see on Marketplace, you'll see a thing for $200 or $300, and you read the description, and it says a massive 3.8 kilos, and you're thinking, for $300, what have you been drinking? Like seriously?
Yeah.
But say more often than not, that's the mom trying to sell off their kids' Lego that's full of Band-Aids and all sorts of gross crap. And then, they just have no idea. They're just like, wow, this is the biggest bunch of Lego I've ever seen. I've bought a lot of those lots in the past, and I'm kind of over buying bulk lots because of it.
So am I, for the same reason. Super Curly One says, Lego question, what's the most expensive Lego set ever sold? Is that question is that a new boxed set that you're referring to, or are you referring to something old and rare that sold for a lot, like that minifig that went to the moon, for example?
Yeah. If you're talking Lego retail, that Lego sell at retail, the most expensive set so far is the UCS Millennium Falcon.
That's right.
And soon to be matched by the UCS AT-AT. It sells at the same price.
Very, very soon, actually.
As far as second hand goes, like old or old and rare, who knows? Who knows what happens behind closed doors? I wouldn't be surprised to see stuff going for tens of thousands.
I guess behind closed doors. It depends on country and stuff as well, and location, because you've got some sets and things that are in places like the Netherlands or Germany that they're just inundated with and are worth nothing because they got so many of them because they're close to Billund. Whereas those same sort of sets never made it as far as Australia, or they did in limited numbers, so they may be worth something higher here. Or in the US, for example, themes that didn't come out, like Chinese New Year in the first round. Or the Walmart exclusive brickheads from the Lego movie. It depends on the country and location as to what a set's worth.
Some of the most expensive sets that go are the inside tour sets, particularly the older inside tour sets. One of the most expensive ones out of that lot would be the Massey Ferguson tractor. That sells for a lot of money. But yeah, as far as what's been bought and sold privately, who would know?
Yeah,
it'd
definitely be some of the rare limited number sets, like the that Christmas X-wing from 3 or 4 years ago. Seems to have a little bit of a price about it. The recalled, what was the plane that never made it out that was recalled at the last minute?
The Osprey.
The Osprey. That sells for $1,000. Like, it's not.
That was selling for $2,000 in the first week that it was unavailable. That they pulled it.
Yeah, mate. I saw it on the shelves at Target for $180, and I thought, oh, it's a plane. Yay! Should have bought it, shouldn't I?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
The one that Steve's just put up was that T-Rex. They gave this away, I think, in a prize draw, if I remember rightly. 2018. They gave this away.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember how many there was. There wasn't many, but there's two for sale on Bricklink at the moment. One for almost $7,500 New Zealand, and one for $14,500. Seriously, if you're paying that kind of money for a Lego set of that description, 1, you're a fucking idiot. 2, you've got too much money. Just saying.
Yeah, you really have to work out why you want that.
Yeah, that's just obscene, in my opinion. That's absolutely obscene. If I had that much money that I could consider buying something like that, I'd be doing something better with it. Definitely. Who's the lady and where's she from? That is April B, and she's from the United States. You can find her and follow her channel on twitch.tv/April B. On Instagram, Instagram/April B_RLFM.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's true, but
I'm on fire tonight, man.
You
I'm
are.
on fire.
Dan's had an energy drink or something. What happened?
No, I haven't. We were watching this TV show, and it was a medical one, and I called every diagnosis well before they even did it on the TV. I was just fizzing by the end of the show. I'm like, yeah, I should have been a fucking doctor.
Yep.
And
And also has sore ribs.
Yeah, I know, right? You can see I'm trying to hold them in. I popped the rib yesterday, man. It's freaking killing me. Yeah.
Andy says, are we going to buy some Star Wars Lego for Billsy to build while he's not here because he loves that stuff? No, but the reason we're asking, selling Lego is because he's not here and I've got the keys to his house. So we want to know the best way to sell Lego.
How long does it to build a? How long to build an MLB ballpark? What? Can you explain that a bit better?
Major League Baseball.
How
Oh,
long does it take to build a Major League Baseball ballpark? Who knows? There's no Lego set of a Major League ballpark yet.
No. I've got a mock of one in the other room.
Given the two stadiums that they've done have both been football stadiums, it would be great. I think all of the Americans want
Wrigley.
Wrigley Field.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to grab my baseball stadium. I'll be back.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. There goes the conversation.
Well, good. Baseball stadiums, huh? Sports ball.
Sports ball. Yeah, don't pretend to be like that. I know you used to play softball.
Yeah, I did, but that doesn't matter. I haven't been into sports in years, mate.
Mate, you're dreaming. Mate, you're dreaming. Getting a UCS Quidditch stadium. Now that would be cool, actually. They've done a couple of play set versions. It would be time to get a
there you go.
A thingy version. That's pretty cool.
It's actually it's a few years old. Now. That's
with a streaker and everything.
I know. Right? And the dancing mascots as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get many people in sports games in the US that streak across the field? Because in Australia and New Zealand, it's like every game.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it happens very rarely. Usually, they're taken down by security before they even can think about doing anything.
Yeah, see, the thing is here, like security is about maybe every 40 meters. You might have 6 security guards around an entire rugby field.
Oh,
and you can get down and over the fence and halfway across the pitch, and then don't get me wrong, you're getting smashed.
Yeah,
when they catch you, that's usually the hardest tackle of the night. And then you get banned from the stadium for life. Usually,
it's funny when the players take them down, especially if it's like a rugby match or something, and your streaker's like a stick thin little fast guy, and your big rugby players like take them down.
Oh god!
That's funny.
Or sometimes it's a woman with no top on, and the rugby players will just laugh and pretending not to be looking, but all looking.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, whenever there's a streaker over here on TV, at least they never show it.
No,
they never show it. They always cut to something else.
Well, of course they have to.
Don't get the no. They used to. They used to really embrace the streakers back in the day, but these days, they don't even get the airtime. Usually it's
defend somebody.
Yeah, usually it's after. Well, I just think that that's their way of trying to
dissuade people from doing
not
it.
encourage people to do it.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, they will always show it. It'll always be seen somewhere else.
Yeah.
It'll either end up on YouTube or the news the following day. It will often be seen, but they never show it during the match.
But you guys surely have like laws for your stuff that goes out on broadcast TV. Sorry, this is my broadcast brain coming out. Like that something that's supposed to be for families, you're not supposed to have nudity in, so they get a fine. I'm sure they're trying to avoid that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. God, we have people that complain about what Hillary Barry wears on 7 Sharp, which is at 7 o'clock on TV because she's got a shoulder out. Fucking pathetic, if you ask me. I'm not joking, man. We got some old fuddy-duddies here that make some pretty stupid complaints. Back in my day.
Jake's right though.
Back in my day, there used to be tits and wangs on your TV with a good footy match whilst drinking a cup of Bovril and eating a pie. Now it's just sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. How do we know, Grant, that Windex isn't sponsoring the streakers?
Well, yeah, that's
get rid of the streaks. Yeah.
Oh God.
Get off.
This is like some high level conspiracy theory crap.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You never know.
All right, so big question, Dan. If you sell every Lego thing that you have, how much is it going to cost? If you sold it all as one lot, like here's my collection, how much are you going to charge somebody?
wow.
Yeah.
Dollar signs. Dollar signs.
I don't know if I could put a price.
It would be.
Price on it.
So I always thought that my collection was probably worth between 50 and 70. And then I had 2 very experienced AFOLs come here and tell me that my collection was probably worth 120 to 150.
Mm.
And that's just what's in this room. They didn't see what was upstairs.
Do they know all of the bagged complete sets and stuff that you have? Yeah, see,
only what's in the Lego room. They can see the inventories of what's in the Lego room, but they can't see all of the cupboard and the wardrobe upstairs and the stuff that was in the office and the stuff that's behind me and in there. So it would be $100,000 plus at least. If I was to insure it, I'd have to insure it for $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got all the modulars. What are they worth these days? $15,000 alone.
Yeah, especially your first 5. That's where all your big bucks are. But even things like the brick bank, it's not old, and the value is right up there.
Yeah.
No, I sold one of them new in box a couple of weeks ago for $650, and that's cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap. They're going in from anywhere from $750 plus here, but I ended up selling it for $650.
Yeah,
needed to pay off my tattoo. I've got 2.5 brick banks on my arm. Most expensive Lego set I've ever bought is on my arm.
I don't have a modular new in a box. All mine are open and built, and they've all got additional floors added to them as well. So do you sell it with the additional floor, or do you sell it? Do you break down?
You'd have to sell it at market price plus the value of the floor as well, because otherwise you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think it'd be hard to sell too.
And then you've got someone that buys it and they'll be like, "Ew, I don't want your creative shit. Put it back to the picture on the box."
Right.
Well, then take it as the picture on the box, but you're still paying market price for it. So be it.
Yeah.
Just FYI, that brick bank was the only thing the only modular that I've had in the box. I've got another one that's been built. All of the rest of my modulars have all been built. I don't have anywhere to display them. so I don't keep them built up. But I bought that one as a spare for. I had these grand plans of doubling the height of the brick bank, but it never happened. So
Yeah. That's I added an
it
extra
was.
floor to all mine. Like I did the bookshop just the other day. You can see there it's got an additional.
Ah, yeah, that looks sick with another floor in it.
Yeah.
Floor.
It kind of needs it, because now the building is taller than the tree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my thought exactly. So
Yeah, it looks good.
So,
Mm.
and then I try and you get the realism with like the AC unit in the window there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
That looks
so I
good.
had an extra floor or two to all of mine to give it that bit more height.
Mm.
So yeah, if I was to start selling modulars, not that I would because modulars are my thing, city's my thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's another question: is do you sell it like that, or do you put it back to the picture on the box and rebox it? Because for things like modulars and that sort of stuff, I've got all the boxes for them as well. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
granted they're flattened down to save space, but I
Mhm.
do have the boxes for them
Mm.
because I'd like to think that if I ever did sell them, you'd like to get it as close to back to original condition as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some modular boxes that I don't have because I bought them secondhand. Some that I do have that not in great condition. And to be fair, there's some of them. Like last year's police station, I had to get rid of the box because a fucking cat pissed on it. So that went south. But I've decided I don't keep boxes anymore because I don't have any intention of selling sort of the vast bulk of my collection anytime soon. And I just can't be bothered storing them anymore. They just take up too much space.
Yeah.
Well, see, my trick with that is I have in our bedroom we have a king size bed and it's got a full frame all the way around, and at the end of the bed there's a little gap like that between the first board and the end of the mattress, and it's just nice enough to fit, like almost like a letterbox. So I flatten the box and I slide it in. I don't know how many are in there, but it's starting to back up big time. Quite a few years worth. If I ever move that bed, there is going to be so much cardboard under it.
Yeah. You'll probably get out, get the bed out, and mice would have made themselves a nice little castle in there.
Oh no, no! I got 3 cats. The mice wouldn't survive.
Fair enough. The Imperial Flagship is a really, really nice set, Karen. That's one of my Grail sets. I'd love to build it, but I've never built it. But it does look so
be a
good.
great set. And same,
good.
I only keep very selected boxes as well. And for an example, if the set's over about $300 RRP, I keep the box just
if it's big, like so. This last year, the only boxes I've kept have been Hogwarts Castle, the Disney Castle, simply because Disney Castle was always a relative collectible anyway, so, because it wasn't available mainstream. Definitely things like Falcon box, I'd never get rid of those sorts of set boxes. If I was to buy those big Technic cars, I'd never get rid of those boxes because, that's
it's an
experience in itself, and ideas. I tend not to get rid of ideas boxes because they make them like shoebox style, so they again, to me, they feel a little bit more premium.
Well, and they're all numbered and stuff and that.
Well, those Technic supercar boxes, you can't even flatten them. There's that much cardboard in them, and 5-6 boxes inside, and the little posse for the instructions and everything. You couldn't flatten them if you wanted.
Things like all of these busts, I got rid of all those boxes. The pictures and stuff, I get rid of all those boxes. Play sets, all of those boxes go. Just can't be bothered with that sort of stuff anymore.
No, makes sense.
And 10 years time, I'll probably regret it, but who cares?
Yeah, definitely some food for thought as to ideas and options of how to go about selling Lego, and marketplace and that sort of thing seems to be the winner. Brett says, no, Billsy again, another smooth running stream. No technical issues either. But for those that did miss the start of the stream, no, Billsy is on an RDO today. Him and his missus decided to welcome a new family member today, so they're off having some family time. So you're left with us instead. And that's why it is awesome. And we're talking about how to sell builds with Lego.
Well, to be fair, he's got a lot of brickheads. And brickheads do or a lot of brickheads have sort of gained a lot in price. You see some people paying some silly money for brickheads these days too. Okay, so
ones.
Karen brings up a good point after we've talked about this brickhead thing.
Yes.
Okay, so do you still take part in lug bolt even with your large collections? The short answer. Yes. Do I ever use anything that I buy from lug bolt? No.
Yeah.
Do I store it in the bags that it came in from lug bolt 4 years ago? Yes.
Yes.
But new parts come out every year. You have to buy the new parts in bulk, right? Come on.
And you never use them. But do I still buy them? Yes.
The biggest problem with lug bolt is it's a year's wait before your parts arrive.
That's right.
I'm completely with Dan. I've got elements from lug bolt from 2, 3, 4 years back still in bags that I had an idea for. I had the biggest grand master plan for them. By the time they arrived, that part was either so common that I've got so many now, or that idea is long gone, moved on. Yep. Someone else has done it. I don't want to copy them, so I'm not going to do it.
Yep. It's exactly the same.
It would be amazing before we had pick-a-brick walls and the AFOL community blew up the way it has.
Yeah.
So lug bolt still does have its place. I do agree. But I haven't taken part in the last 2 years because I haven't seen the value in it personally.
The best lug bulk was about 3 years ago when they trialed this new thing and everybody got to order their own lug bulk individually from Lego Bricks and Pieces. Yeah. And you were allowed to order up to 40 different elements, but only a maximum of 200 of each element.
Yeah.
That was still the best lug bulk ever because so what I did with that lug bulk, I literally just bought everything in tan, every sized brick. And that's what I built my Wellington Central Fire Station with. And it was good. The 200 limit did kind of suck, especially if you wanted more bricks. Yeah, but the variety that you were able to order for yourself, I thought was awesome. But I still do. I still participate in lug bulk. Yeah, so here's another question when it comes to selling Lego, right? As an AFOL, if you've purchased from lug bulk, technically you're not allowed to on-sell it.
No,
what happens there? I've got stuff here that I bought 5 years ago. I've got stuff that I may have bought in a lug bulk that may have gone into a mock that got sold. Where's the rules around this, you know?
I guess
who's policing it?
I guess there's a difference, though, of some of the elements ending up in bulk lots you've sold on or mocks that you've sold on, as opposed to me buying 500 off Lego here, selling them over here with a markup. That's what lug bulk is against.
Yeah.
But if you're using it in a mock or a project and you're on selling that mock or project, that's different. So,
if you're buying it specifically to sell it, I think, or buying it to specifically build mocks to sell, then that's probably grey. I didn't build the Tui Brewery with the intention of selling it. I had an offer made because they didn't want to see it pulled apart, which was what I was going to do with it. I was literally going to tear it down, and they didn't want it. They wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
So I think, the other thing too is, as an RLFM, we get sent a lot of sets from Lego, which we're not allowed to sell. We're allowed to give them away. We're allowed to send them back to Lego if we want.
I wonder if anyone actually has.
I doubt it. I doubt it very much. But yeah, technically we're not allowed to sell those sets on. So I am very, very careful about what I sell on the open market, which is very little, to be honest. And in no way possible having anyone try and accuse me of selling sets that Lego have sent me. So, I wasn't an RLFM when the Brick Bank was out. So that wasn't an issue.
Right.
The only other thing that I've sold in the last 2 years has been 9-volt track. And we all know that I definitely wasn't an RLFM 15 years ago. So, there's a lot of stuff that I end up sitting on. Can't sell it.
Well, I guess as an RLFM, it's that there is more of a spotlight on you, because if you got sent a set and then, gave Lego one of these ones and went, no, I'm going to on-sell that, then, it's that spotlight's on you as opposed to your average Joe.
Which basically it comes back to you're just taking the piss.
Yeah.
What are you an RLFM for if you're just taking sets and selling them?
Exactly. Right. But interesting argument all round. I guess the biggest win or the biggest feedback or consensus there is that putting them back into sets as best you can, whether boxed or unboxed, but getting them back into sets is going to retain the best resale value or reclaim value, rather than lazy selling it off as loose bricks. Yeah. But we've just about hit our hour, so we've done quite well. Very very interesting topic on selling sets. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Thanks for joining us, April. It's always good to see your smiling face at stupid o'clock in the morning for you.
No worries, sir. I'm sorry, I was a bit late.
No, that's okay. It's good to have you. And Dan Trooper, always happy that you join us from across the ditch.
No worries, mate. It's not quite 3 o'clock in the morning here, so it ain't that bad.
No, that's true. That's true. But got to have someone to keep me in line while Billsy's not here, I guess. Otherwise, I just babble on and get lost, or don't talk, as he says. He always has a go at me for not talking enough. So,
to be fair, this is probably the best Monday night stream we've ever had. I think this is the most that all three of us have ever got to talk in a stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
take note, Billsy.
Yeah, we're going to have to change the name of the show for sure.
It's the Billsa show now.
To be honest, some of the best BTB TV episodes are the ones when I'm not there.
That's not true.
It is true. It is true, and you know it. And I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm just saying sometimes the conversation just really kicks off when you're not there, and it's good.
Something different changes it up, but no. We love you, Billsy. It's all good. Congrats on the new family edition, and we'll let you make announcements when you're ready. But congrats Indeed. On the happy, healthy Bubba. And we will be back on Wednesday night. We are lined up, all going well, with the 4 Lego Masters from the Celebrity Brickmas special. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, we'll be back next Monday night as well, and hopefully with the gorgeous Dan and the handsome April. And
I think you might have got that round the wrong way, mate.
We'll go from there. So. But no, thanks everyone. We'll see you again Wednesday night and Monday night. Till then, happy building. Cheers.